I'll leave this up here if you want to, copy it down, or if you want to, or you want to take a picture of it or something like that, but I abbreviated a lot of things, everybody, just for purposes of space on the board. So like, AMS means downward, Auto Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So just for example, so you know what that is. Half chat is like, it's like chaturanga, half chaturanga, knees on the floor, bending the elbows, lowering down. Trikonasana, Utthita Trikonasana.
Tricky cat.
Oh, tricky cat. Oh, yeah, sorry. That's like a made-up thing too. This. Do you remember when we did that? Tricky cat. I don't know. Somebody called it that. It's not really like it's a made-up. There's a lot of poses that are.
That's what it's called in Pilates.
And this was called in Pilates, quadruped? Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Maybe that's where it came from. Yeah. Quadruped and Pilates. So that's a really great back strengthening exercise and a really great core strengthening exercise.
And balance.
And balance, yeah. I mean, there's like, even though that appears easy, when you're really doing it correctly, it's not actually. It's really hard. So I do that a lot with my beginners. Like I do that a lot with a lot of classes. Like especially if I know that I am doing inversions and things like that, or that's a good preparation for Virabhadrasana 3, because that's basically what we're doing in Warrior 3.
Is PP?
Oh yeah, PP is Prasarita Padottanasana. So I did Prasarita Padottanasana, but I did the arms in Gomukha Asana. That's why I have Gomukha arms like this.
Divine.
So, yeah, okay. What else did I have weird here? Oh, supine, I just called it that because it's like I made it up, like me, whatever, like this thing that I had doing here, right? And then lifting up. Okay, so I just called it supine Virabhadrasana 3. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, or like, however you want to write it down so that you know what it is. I make up lots of different weird abdominal exercises. Carolina knows, she goes to my class all the time.
What is on the fifth line under number 4?
The fifth. Oh, Vajrasana. So that was just like when we just sat back on the heels. Like this is Vajrasana. You're just sitting back onto the heels. It's different than Virasana. You're not sitting in between your feet. You're just sitting onto your heels. And we just did this, right? So just to teach what the arms and shoulders are doing without doing this, because this is what a lot of you do, like in forearm stand, but also in a handstand. And so learning how to keep the core stable and move the arm. That's what you're trying to do, is keep the core stable and move the arm. That's really hard. So that's what the law of compensation says, right? Law of compensation is that we move where
Least
we
resistance.
can and don't where we can, right? So it's like we compensate in the body all different sorts of ways to kind of move around where the weakness or the tightness is, okay? Okay, that was it. Yeah, so thread the needle is, we call this thread to needle, but I call it also just like ankle to knee pose, like lying down this, okay? And then we did a spinal twist at the end, like, I don't know what you call this, but like you just cross your legs, twist, okay? Cross your thighs, twist. Happy baby pose, Shavasana. Oh yeah, up with all the poses? I don't know. We never really? Wow, did we do some the first weekend? The standing poses? We did some pronunciation of the standing poses, right, the first weekend? We haven't done, okay. So let's, hey, open your awesome manual, that's a good idea. Let's try to go through some of these. Yeah.
No.
Okay, look, go to page 8, everybody. Sorry, Chris. Go to page 8. Yeah.
Should make a level 2.
Okay, yeah, so go question. So like what level do you think this is? Level? What level do you think this might be? This class of 2-3? 2-3? Yeah, I would think it would be probably more of like a 2-3. I could teach it like a 2. But the fact that you've got handstand and forearm stand in there, if you're doing 2 inversions, like it just, that thing just increases the level, but I would say 2-3 class.
Didn't we talk about using row as?
You could have done we could have done Navasana, we could have done Bakasana. There's lots of different, there's other options. You know, there's lots of other things that you could have done as core strengtheners. Puppy dog.
How many did you try
It's just not one of the headstands. There's Shirshasana 1 and Shirshasana 2. So Shirshasana 1 is what Jean Marie did with you yesterday. Shirshasana 2 is considered more advanced. So, and I know a lot of you are like, really? But it is harder because you've got more weight on your head. It's really hard to do correctly. So we don't do tripod headstand in this 200-hour training. It is a very advanced headstand. And, you know, a lot of people, like, if you've learned gymnastics, that's usually a headstand that they teach you, is that headstand, not, you know what I mean? But to not be in your neck, and not have all the weight on your head, you have to really know what you're doing. It requires a lot more back strength and arm strength to do that. So it's just not something that we go over because most of you need to learn how to do regular headstand first, and, you know, some of these other poses to prepare to do that.
What's tripod headstand again?
Tripod headstand is like, it's like prostrate Padasana, like your hands, just your hands in your head.
We did it with the blocks.
Oh, you did it with the block?
Okay. The shoulders on the blocks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you did it. You did tripod headstand?
Just with the blocks.
Just with the blocks? Okay, it's a great headstand to do, but you've got a lot more weight on your head. You know?
And then that way our heads were really touching.
Your head's not really on the floor, you just had the weight on the blocks of your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Then from there, you can lift your arms up. It needs to be like.
Yeah, it's suspended, yeah. There's this great picture of, Dharma Mitra. Thanks, yeah.
Times Square.
Times Square, so you know Dharma Mitra, he has a studio, had forever in the city. There's a picture of him in this one yoga book. He's like on a manhole in Times Square, just on his head.
Arms
Arms are like that, he's just on his head. That's awesome, crazy. But in order to do that, see that's why, in order to do that without putting a lot of compression onto you, you're going to compress your neck. You can't not when you've got that kind of weight on it. But you have to have so much core stability in your body to not injure your neck and injure your shoulders. So learn how to do some of these other poses first really well. Go up into regular headstand and hold it there for 10 minutes first. Okay? No, seriously, like before, you know what I mean? Like if you can't get up and hold these, like we don't usually hold these poses long enough, you know, like chaturanga, like we just don't hold it long enough to really develop different type of strength. So start practicing with some of these things and holding it a little bit. When you go up into handstand, be up there in handstand for a bit before just like coming right back down. That's how you'll really develop a lot more strength. Okay, all right, so let's go through some of these poses just to work on the pronunciation. So on page 8 in your asana manual, let's just go through the standing poses up to the inversions, okay? You see there on page 8, it's in, okay, so standing neutral, standing external, and inversions. So the first, let's go around the room and everybody say name of these poses and let's work on it. So go ahead, share the first.